The thing about Mark wasn't that he was mean or loud or even particularly strange. It was that he was just present, always. He was in my morning calculus class, my afternoon Spanish lesson, and even the elective astronomy course I took purely to avoid him. I tried to convince myself it was just scheduling coincidence, the way colleges bundle classes, but the feeling was different. It felt like orchestration. It started with small things. I'd mentioned to my roommate I lost my favorite red pen, and the next day, a brand new, identical red pen would be sitting on my desk when I got back from lunch. I decomplained that I couldn't find a copy of the specific textbook edition needed for a paper, and 20 minutes later, a notification would pop up on my school email, an anonymous attachment containing the exact digitized chapter. No name, no message, just the file. It felt less like a secret admirer and more like a controlled intrusion. The first truly creepy incident happened during finals week. I was pulling an all-nighter in the common study room, the kind of night where the fluorescent lights buzz like angry wasps and the coffee tastes like burnt asphalt. Around 3 a.m., I got up to stretch. Mark was sitting 3 tables away, head down, completely still. I walked over to the water cooler, grabbed a drink, and then looked back. Mark's head was still down, but written in the condensation on my water bottle, which I had just set down, was a single, neat line of handwriting. "Don't worry about question 4. You got it right." I wiped the condensation off and spun around. Mark hadn't moved. I walked back to my table, heart hammering, and looked at my practice test. Question 4 was a notoriously difficult proof that I had just spent 45 agonizing minutes solving. And yes, I had just written the final answer down. I stared at him, trying to see any sign of movement, but he was a statue. The anxiety became debilitating. I started testing him. I'd wear a shirt I'd never worn before and find a comment about the color, a single sticky note left on my locker. I started taking odd routes home, turning down alleys and cutting through restricted campus areas. He was never there, but when I returned to my dorm, the small specific mundane details of my detour would appear. A slightly wet footprint outside my door, though. The halls were dry, or a text message from an unknown number, simply reading. The detour was unnecessary. The climax came during our final Spanish oral exam. I sat down in the classroom, nervous, waiting for the professor to call my name. Mark was seated in the front row. I took out my small paper cheat sheet, a microscopic list of verb conjugations I planned to sneak glances at under the table. It was a stupid, paranoid gesture, but I was desperate. The professor started calling names. As I nervously shifted my textbook, something fluttered out. It was a single folded sheet of paper. I picked it up. It was a drawing, a detailed, intricate pencil sketch of the exact classroom I was in, showing every student, every desk, and even the specific textbook I was using. But the focus of the drawing was me seated right now, right here. And then I saw the detail that made me freeze. In the sketch, my hand was resting on the table, clutching a small, folded piece of paper. The drawing showed my miniature cheat sheet unfolded, with every single verb conjugation I had written on it, rendered perfectly in pencil. It wasn't just a picture of the moment. It was a picture that showed what was hidden in the moment. I looked up, straight at Mark. This time, he looked back. He didn't smile, didn't nod, didn't move. He simply reached out a long, slow finger and gently tapped the side of his own head, before turning back to stare straight ahead, waiting for his name to be called. It was a quiet acknowledgement that he didn't just know what I was doing. He knew what I was thinking. I never went back to that campus. I left the exam, dropped the course, and moved to another state. I don't know who Mark was, but I know he wasn't tracking my movements in real time. He was tracking my intent, and that quiet, constant observation was the most chilling thing of all.